Welcome to this edition of Canton Contact. I am your host, Peg Stevens. My first guest today is here to tell us about a very special partnership between the Village Theater at Cherry Hill and the Michigan Shakespeare Festival. Here with all the exciting details is the producing artistic director of the Michigan Shakespeare Festival, Janice L. Blixt. Janice, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I really appreciate it.
I understand that you have a fabulous lineup of wonderful productions this summer. But before we get to that, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your professional theater company?
Oh, well, the Michigan Shakespeare Festival is a 23-year-old company. We unfortunately have been one of the best kept secrets in Michigan, and we're doing our very best to get away from that. We are the official Shakespeare Festival of the state of Michigan by decree of the governor and the legislature. So we got documents to prove it. So this is real. And we are a fully professional company. We hire professional artists here in Michigan and around the Great Lakes region. We have occasionally gone nationally, but this year we have a really nice, tight company of Michigan performers and then some from Wisconsin, Illinois, and Ohio.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, it's a nice regional theater connection.
And I understand that you perform out of 2 venues.
We do. We start our season in Jackson, Michigan, which is where the festival started 23 years ago. And we will actually open for previews next week, June 6th, and we'll run there from June 6th through the 23rd. And then we pack it all up and we bring it to the more eastern side of the state, and we'll perform in Canton for 3 weeks at the Village Theater, which is so lovely, from July 28th through the 13th of August.
Excellent. So it's basically a 6-week-long season.
Yes.
That starts in early July in Jackson, and then it moves to Canton the end of July.
Exactly.
Into August.
Exactly. And you can see any of the shows at any time. They're all up and running, and they run in rep. So what we try and do is make sure that, for instance, we have a lot of people who come in for a weekend. If you come in for the Friday night show and the 2 shows on Saturday, you're going to see all 3 shows. Or if you see the 2 shows on Saturday and the show on Sunday, you'll see all 3 shows. So we try and mix it up like that and make it for our out-of-town people and people who are, making the drive in. Try to make it as easy as possible for them to see all 3 shows.
Oh, how very thoughtful.
Well, we try. We love our audience. We love our patrons.
And I know you have a lot of fans out there who come every summer.
We do. It's amazing. And one of the fun parts about that is they start kind of connecting to different artists in the company. And I mean, we have fan groups right now for people like Janet Haley, who is one of our, she's an artistic associate. She's done the festival 13 times. She's amazing. This year she's playing a Cardinal in the Seagulls. Just an incredible role for her. So her people have already been contacting us, making sure she's in the shows, finding out if they can possibly talk to her. We have this for so many of our artists because so much of our audience comes back every year to see the different things that different people are doing.
Oh, how flattering for your theater company.
It really is.
Now let's talk about your current season. What plays are in production?
Well, our first show, the flagship show, the big show that we always do one Shakespeare that everybody knows, and that's when we do our Hamlet or our Romeo and Juliet. Well, this year we're doing The Taming of the Shrew. And this year's production of the show is different. It's got its own kind of cachet to it. I first worked for the Michigan Shakespeare Festival 20 years ago, playing Kate in The Taming of the Shrew. The director was John Neville Andrews, and the guy playing Petruchio was a very attractive young man named David Blixt. It is 20 years later. We are married. We have children. We have a life together. That is where we met. And so this year we are doing kind of the 20th anniversary of that production. David and I are playing Kate and Petruchio. We have the director back, John Neville Andrews, directing the show, and it is for everyone who wonders why Shakespeare can't be done Elizabethan and the costumes and it is. We are doing The Taming of the Shrew in a very classic, very Elizabethan, very fun. There's music, there's crazy. It's delightful.
Oh, it sounds like it.
It is. It's very hard. I didn't need ibuprofen the last time around after rehearsals. The 20 years has made a big difference, but it's still just fun and funny and light and terrific. And for people who like our company, across the board. We've got all the all-stars in playing all the roles, and so it's fun.
Oh, well, let's talk a little bit about this unique twist. How does it feel, fast forwarding 20 years and assuming those roles again with your now husband?
Well, honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to look across the stage and see him again and have those little moments again, which is great. But you have to remember, in a professional theater, that might be fun, but if the audience isn't enjoying it, none of that matters. So it's for me, since I've been directing so much over the past, since I had my children, this is one of the first full productions I've been a part of in a while. So I'm remembering why I loved it and why I don't do it so much anymore. It's really hard. It's been fun, but it has been really hard.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the production itself, that's one of my favorite plays, Taming of the Shrew. It's a very interesting comedy.
It is.
Can you briefly tell us the plot?
Well, Taming the Shrew, we have a usually young woman, but this time we have me, and she is kind of the terror of Padua. She is angry at the world, and she does not want to be owned. And the only thing that you had to do in this time period as a wealthy woman was to be married off. And her poor father is dealing with the fact that he has this older daughter who is angry at the world, and he has a younger daughter who is very beautiful and very demure. But if you really read the show, you realize she's kind of horrible too. So he's got these two horrible daughters who just fight all the time and make his life miserable. And he makes the statement, no, you cannot marry the younger until someone marries the elder. So into town comes Petruchio, a guy from neighboring Verona. His father has recently died. He's lonely. He's alone in the world. And so he's decided it's time I can get married. And what happens is all the suitors for Bianca end up saying they'll pay him if he will marry Kate.
And they have to come see the play for the rest of the story.
Exactly.
Interesting premise.
It is.
Now let's talk about the other two plays that you're performing. Or actually, you're directing the other two.
I am directing the other two. I have a crazy summer. I really do. The second show is usually where we do a Shakespeare show that is not as often produced. And so we have done Cymbeline and Love's Labour's Lost. We've done Richard II. This year we're doing Julius Caesar, which is a big name show, but we did a survey of our audience asking about, have they seen it live? They'd all read it in high school. They may have seen the movie, but very few of them had seen it live. And so we thought, over a year and a half ago when I set these things up, this will be a great show. Little knowing that this was going to be the summer of Julius Caesar, where it's in the news all the time, and productions in New York are bringing it to a headline focus. So we have not, for anyone who is wondering, we have not been getting violence threats. We have been getting trolled quite a bit on our Facebook and on our social media accounts. But what we are doing with Julius Caesar is we are not depicting any historical or political figures other than the ones that are in the play, like Julius Caesar and Caius Brutus and everybody like that.
So you're taking a traditional classical approach
A very traditional classical approach with kind of a twist. If you come see it, it is set modern, but it's not. So I think that kind of that's all I'm going to say on that. But I think what will happen for a modern audience is they will hear lines in the text, because it's in there, where they think, oh my goodness, I can't believe, Guy just said that on the evening news last week. You're going to hear all of that because it's in there. But we are not pretending to make it about Mitch McConnell. We're not pretending to make it about
the current
Paul
headlines.
Ryan.
Exactly.
It's not Bernie Sanders. We're not doing that.
Fascinating. Now, the third production, one of Chekhov's plays.
The third production we're doing is The Seagull, which is a funny play. This is the thing I had to convince my board. Most of the time, American audiences hear Chekhov and they think, oh my gosh, it's very deep, it's very emotional, and it is, but it's also very funny. We are using a brand new world premiere translation. Alexandra Chistyakova-Lacombe, who is an expat from Russia, gave us a line-by-line translation. So if the character in the Russian says, I'm going to the store, I'm going to the store. And then what we did is I took it and went through it a few times and sort of made it easier on the mouth, changed the references so that it's not a Russian history lesson, but Americans will understand what is happening.
Does it still have my favorite line?
It certainly does.
Why are you always wearing black?
I'm in mourning for my life.
I love that.
I do too. That's one of the first lines of the show. And I love that you say that, because in all the translations, originally I was just going to do one of the established translations, but it amazed me how often they took that wonderful, funny line and turned it into a treatise on depression and all. No, that's in there, but it's funny. Let's let it be funny. So the humor of it is a lot more like a modern show, like The Office, or a show of that nature. It is not either slapstick crazy, and it's also not this sort of, hey, let's sit back and be bored. The entire script, translated the way we had it done, it's easily a fifth shorter than any translation I've ever read. We're keeping it tight, we're keeping it quick, and strangely enough, I think we're keeping it close to the Chekhov because of what we're doing.
And it sounds very entertaining.
It is.
We're
it's a lot
almost
of
out of time. So if
sorry.
I love talking with you about this. If you wouldn't mind telling folks where they can get more information, purchase their tickets, and maybe briefly about the Flex ticket.
Absolutely. The best place to go in order to check this out is our website, which is www.michiganshakespearefestival.com. So we do ask you to do a lot of typing. But on our page, you will find calendars, and you will find links to both of the venues in order to buy tickets once you've chosen what dates look good for you. One thing that you can do is you can get a reduction in the cost of the season if you buy what we call the Flex Pass, which is, it's basically a ticket for all 3 shows. And so if you buy it across the season pass, it's a huge discount.
Excellent. Well, Janice, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us all about these fabulous productions of this season of the Michigan Shakespeare Festival.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We will be right back with more Canton Contact.
Celebrate the return of back-to-school days with Canton's Back-to-School Blowout on August 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Heritage Park Amphitheater. Enjoy student performances and showcases while visiting with local school and community groups, clubs, and resources. Program partners include the Canton Public Library, Canton Public Safety, and many more. For more information, call 734-394-5460 or visit cantonfun.org.
Welcome back to Canton Contact. My next guests are here to tell us about a National Night Out community event that's scheduled to take place in early August right here in Canton. Joining me now with all the details is Canton Community Relations Officer Patty Esselink, along with Recreation Supervisor Jennifer Provenzano. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I understand that both of you have been very instrumental in the planning of this event. What can we expect at this year's National Night Out?
This year's National Night Out in Not in Our Town Peace Rally is going to be an event that brings the neighborhoods together, draws the community out to one central location, and allows them the opportunity to communicate with their neighbors, get to know their public safety department, see the different places of worship around the township will all be on display.
And when is this year's event taking place? When and where?
This year's event is August 1st from 6:30 to 8:30 at North Heritage Park.
They always happen. It's sort of it's part of a nationwide event. So it's always the first Tuesday in August. So while Canton is celebrating, there will also be celebrations happening across the country, which is really cool. So we're sort of like a satellite celebration for a larger movement that's really to connect public safety departments and the people in the community. So there's a greater understanding of each other and who's living in your area.
And why have you done this in the last several years?
The big push is to get to know who's living around you, better understand the different religions around us, better understand your neighbors, educating each other on who lives in our community and how to make it a safer place.
Wonderful. Now, what can we expect here in Canton?
This year we will have our public safety vehicles on display. Home Depot will be there for craft projects with the kids. We will, Target will be sponsoring the event, so they will be out there, as well as our Canton Response to Hate Crimes Coalition participants will be out there. There'll be individuals from various places of worship across the township displaying and educating the public on their particular places of worship.
We have some really great partners. The Canton Public Library is a really huge partner. They've got a cool initiative this summer about Canton's front porch. So they're going to bring some rocking chairs, and it's a really cool kind of way to have conversations maybe with folks that you might not normally. Really, it'll be interactive for families. Thanks to this generous sponsorship from Target too. We're usually able to provide food for the first 500 folks or so. We've had great responses the last few years, so people can expect more if they've been there before. A lot of the same sort of fun, and then the way we do it, we get a little bigger, a little bit better every year. So more of that.
Absolutely, it sounds like a fabulous event. Now, who should attend?
Everybody who lives within Canton. Anybody that is interested in learning about the variety of demographics and religions around them. All the neighborhoods can come out to one central location and learn about the public safety department and other entities of the township.
It's really an effort to promote peace, and we want to show that Canton won't stand for bullying or discrimination. It's a great diverse community, and I think there's a lot of acceptance and understanding. It's really already, right? Mm-hmm. But really to continue to promote that and remind people what a great place Canton is to live. And if you have questions you want to ask, we're creating sort of this cool environment where it's really no one will be offended. It's really a great opportunity to say, tell me about the foods that possibly your culture eats, or why you worship on this day, or it's a really great environment for that sort of stuff. So a very non-threatening, a really easy way. And the more kids start learning about different people, we're going to create a whole, I think, generations of people that are
better educated on the individuals that live around them.
And why have you combined the National Night Out and the Not in Our Town ideas?
They feel like a great fit. I think they both have very similar missions, so it felt like a great way to sort of bring two wonderful programs together to make a bigger, better one.
Well, we're almost out of time, so if one of you wouldn't mind recapping the event and telling folks where they can go for more information.
Yeah, so Tuesday, August 1st, right, we'll be out in Heritage Park on the north end of the park again. You can kind of look for the large Canton Live stage if you want to find us off Heritage Drive. And Officer Esselink and I will be out there with a ton of great staff. You'll see all the public safety display out there. Hopefully you'll smell the delicious food in the air and all of our booths set up. So we encourage all of Canton to come out.
Excellent. And if folks want more information, where should they go?
They can go to our website, cantonpublicsafety.org.
Excellent. Well, ladies, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us about this family-friendly event.
Thank you.
We will be right back with more Canton Contact.
Hey folks, Canton Township has an app. My Canton is the official mobile app for the Canton community. The app provides a connection between the township and its citizens and visitors. Enjoy convenient access to local officials, businesses, and event registration. Whether a resident or visitor, this app delivers access to community news, events, emergency alerts, and more. Download the MyCanton app today and connect with the community. Available at Apple and Google Play Store. Celebrate the return of back-to-school days with Canton's Back-to-School Blowout on August 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Heritage Park Amphitheater. Enjoy student performances and showcases while visiting with local school and community groups, clubs, and resources. Program partners include the Canton Public Library, Canton Public Safety, and many more. For more information, call 734-394-5460 or visit cantonfun.org.
Welcome back to Canton Contact. My next guests are here to tell us about the 4th annual Rally on Ridge, which is scheduled to take place later this month. Here with all the details is Recreation Supervisor Jennifer Provenzano, along with Canton Farmers Market Coordinator Jackie Spears. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that the Rally on Ridge is coming soon to Canton. What can you tell us about this event?
So the event will be on.
There's so much to talk about. We're not sure where to start.
Let me build up my breath here. Tuesday, July 25th. We're actually doing expanded hours this year just because there were so many people last year. So it's going to be 5:30 to 9. We're also adding a beer garden this year, which we're pretty excited about.
Oh, awesome. Those are fabulous improvements.
Yeah.
Now, for those folks at home who may not be familiar with Rally on Ridge, what sort of an event is it?
Right. So it's a fundraising event. First and foremost is really to support Canton's Farmers Market. So we work with these great local chefs and restaurateurs that own restaurateurs on wheels that own these great food trucks. They come out and a percentage of all their sales come back to the market, which is an awesome a reason to eat some delicious food for the evening. It's great local cuisine. Most of it's really locally sourced, so you're eating local fresh great food, which is also the mission of the market. Every year it's doubled almost in size. We've started with like 6 trucks, and the next year we had 12, and now we'll have close to 20, right?
20, yep.
Which is great, and there will probably still be long lines, but it really sort of takes over the Village District area. So if you are familiar with the Farmers Market, Preservation Park will have a number of trucks there. The Cherry Hill Schoolhouse, we're going to close part of the road there again for some pedestrian safety. We'll have a number of trucks in that area as well. So everything from pizza to grilled cheese, hot dogs, everything in between, right? Some of our old favorite trucks will be back with gourmet deli sandwiches and barbecue, and then we'll have some new trucks as well, which is really exciting.
Excellent. So you are blocking off the street, if I understand you correctly.
Yep,
So
just a really small piece of Ridge Road, hence the Rally on Ridge, right? That's the name. So it really creates an easier way for folks to get across the street there, because we really have thousands of folks that come out and support the event, which is really, really wonderful. We have lawn games and all sorts of fun activities for the kids to do as well. But really, the showpiece is the food. So we want you to come out, try something new, support some local businesses, and support the farmers market.
Excellent. Now you mentioned a lot of dinner eats. Will there be any dessert trucks, food trucks this year?
Yeah, we have a couple different ice cream trucks. One's more gelato, and then one's more catered towards kids. And then we also have a crepe truck coming out, which we're pretty excited about, crepe de trois. I think it's our...
Yeah. So sweets and savory for
Yes.
sure.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. So for the folks at home, where can they find like the rundown of all the trucks who are participating and get more information about the event?
Yeah, so we're going to be updating it on the Farmers Market Facebook page. So that's where they can see menus and all of that. And then the website as well, cantonfund.org, the Farmers Market tab on that.
Awesome. Now you mentioned that this is a fundraiser and it benefits the Canton Farmers Market. Can you give us a little pitch about the Farmers Market? For those folks who haven't gone, and if they haven't, shame on them because it's a wonderful farmers market.
Thank you, Peg.
When is that held? When does that take place?
Yeah, it's every Sunday at Preservation Park, which is located in our sort of village district, which we chatted about kind of at the intersection of Cherry Hill and Ridge Roads near that area there. So you'll see a historic barn and farmhouse in that area, but on Sundays between 9 and 1, it transforms into this great farmers market venue with all sorts of wonderful local farmers and that make all sorts of other handcrafted goods. It goes way beyond vegetables and fruits, which are often the showpiece in the summer, but we also jams and jellies and everything in between. So honey, lots of great stuff there. It's really hard to not go and not fill your bag with local produce and goods.
So something for everyone, and it's an open air market that's
Yes.
open rain or shine.
Rain or
Yep,
shine.
rain or shine.
Well, we're almost out of time here, so if one of you wouldn't mind just kind of recapping the event, where and when, and where folks can get more information.
Yeah, so it's Tuesday, July 25th from 5:30 to 9, right, like she said, in the Village District there, so kind of spread out between the schoolhouse area and Preservation Park. Something for everyone, families, kids, the beer tent for the adults as well. And then more information on our Facebook page, the Canton Farmers Market Facebook page, as well as cantonfund.org.
Excellent. And why should folks come this year?
Oh, well, which we often say bigger, better, right? So you get to try new foods. There's no way you got to try it all last year. The lines were too long. You got to try these great local eats, while for a good cause, while
For a good
supporting the
cause.
market. So
Excellent. Ladies, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us about this wonderful community event.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on Canton Contact.